Commander Alex Mercer was not a man who believed in luck. Every day of his life was shaped by discipline, training, and cold facts. But as his small spaceship plunged through the thick atmosphere of the distant planet, he felt something he had never felt before: fear, mixed with a strange hope. The planet was called Viridian. Far beyond the edges of human-explored space, Alex and his crew were the first humans to reach it, sent by Earth to find signs of alien life. The mission was clear: explore, gather information, and if possible, make contact. But what happened next was far beyond their plans. The ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as the control systems failed. "Brace for impact," Alex shouted. The crew tightened their grips on their seats. The ship slammed into the rocky ground, sending a cloud of dust into the air. When the noise stopped, Alex's ears rang. The cabin was quiet, except for the distant crackle of damaged systems. He unbuckled his harness and looked around. The ship was badly damaged. The communication system was offline. They were stranded. "We need to get outside and check the damage," Alex said, forcing his voice steady. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Sarah Kim, nodded and opened the hatch. The air outside was breathable, but cold. The landscape was alien strange. Purple trees with glowing leaves, jagged mountains, and a sky with two suns setting in the distance. The crew started inspecting the ship's hull. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. A low rumble echoed through the valley. From the shadow of the mountains, they saw it. A massive structure, older than any building humans had ever seen. It was a palace. Tall spires rose into the sky, and strange symbols covered its walls, glowing softly in the twilight. The crew looked at each other, unsure. "We should stay near the ship," Sarah warned, but curiosity won over fear. Alex led the way toward the palace's entrance. The heavy doors opened silently as they approached, as if the building itself was alive and welcoming them. The air was cool and smelled faintly of something sweet. The throne room was enormous, the walls that seemed to pulse with light. In the center sat a figure unlike anything Alex had ever imagined: the alien queen. She was tall and slender, with shimmering skin that changed colors like the surface of a bubble. Her eyes were deep and wise, filled with a mixture of sadness and strength. She wore a crown made of living crystals that glowed softly. Alex froze. The queen rose slowly and looked directly at him. Then, to his shock, she knelt. The room was silent, except for the quiet hum of the palace. The queen's kneeling was not a gesture of weakness, but of great respect. Alex did not understand. Why was she bowing to him? He was just a human and unknown species to her. "Why?" he asked aloud, but the queen did not speak. Instead, she extended a hand, palm up, as if inviting him closer. Alex stepped forward, heart pounding. As he approached, the queen's eyes glowed brighter. Then, without warning, a strange sensation filled Alex's mind, a wave of memories not his own. He saw flashes of a war long ago, between humans and aliens, fighting side by side against a cruel empire. He saw the queen leading her people, fighting to protect a sacred promise. When the vision ended, Alex gasped, pulling back. The queen's voice was gentle but clear in his mind. "You carry the mark of the ancient alliance." Alex looked down at his hand. There, faintly glowing beneath his skin, was a symbol, a mark no one on Earth had ever seen before. He staggered, trying to understand. The queen rose slowly, still kneeling, but looking at him with hope. Suddenly a sharp noise echoed from the palace entrance. The rest of the crew hurried in, weapons raised. "What's going on?" Sarah demanded, eyes wide with alarm. Alex turned to her. "This queen, she knows me, she knows us, and I think this is only the beginning." After the strange encounter with the alien queen, Commander Alex Mercer and his crew returned to their damaged ship. No one knew what to make of the queen's unexpected respect toward Alex. For now, the crew remained. On high alert, ready for any danger, Alex sat alone in the ship's small command room, staring at his hand where the glowing mark had appeared. The symbol pulsed gently beneath his skin. He'd never seen anything like it before. Does it mean? He whispered. Sarah, his second in command, stood beside him quietly. It looks like some kind of ancient sign, she said slowly. Maybe it's connected to the alien's history. Alex nodded but didn't say more. His mind was racing. The vision he had seen in the Queen's presence was too real to ignore. It showed a secret from a long time ago, humans and aliens fighting together against a terrible enemy. But those memories did not exist in human records. The crew spent the next days repairing the ship as best as they could. Communication with Earth was still impossible. Supplies were limited, and the strange planet offered little help. But the biggest problem was the unknown. What did the alien queen want? Why had she knelt before Alex? And what was this ancient alliance she spoke of? To find answers, Alex decided they needed to learn more about the alien race and their history. He convinced the queen to allow a small team to explore the palace archives. It was a risk, but the queen had not shown hostility. Instead, she seemed to trust Alex, as if their meeting had awakened something long forgotten. Inside the palace, the team entered a vast room filled with glowing tablets and holograms. The walls were covered with stories, images, and symbols that told of the alien people's past. A translator device helped the team understand some of the language, but many details were still confusing. The queen stood silently by, watching as Alex and Sarah studied the records. One tablet showed an ancient war. The aliens, called the Viridians, were once a proud and peaceful civilization, but a powerful empire from across the galaxy had attacked them, enslaving many and scattering the survivors. The tablet then revealed a surprising truth. Humans had fought alongside the Viridians long ago. The two races had formed a secret alliance, a pact sealed by a rare genetic marker, a mark that Alex carried unknowingly. Sarah looked at Alex with wide eyes. This means your ancestors were part of this alliance. Alex's mind spun. Why don't we know about this? Why is it lost? The queen's voice broke the silence, calm and strong. Because our history was erased, the Empire destroyed many records to keep us divided. Alex looked at her carefully. And why did you kneel to me? The queen's eyes softened. Because you carry the blood of that alliance. You're the key to our future. Suddenly, the palace shook with a distant explosion.
Outside, the sky darkened.
Alarms blared as soldiers rushed in. The Galactic Empire's forces had found them. The next hours were chaos. The crew and Viridian warriors prepared for battle. Alex realized their chance of survival depended on working together. The humans, with their weapons and strategy, combined with the aliens' advanced technology and knowledge of the land, had a fighting chance as the first wave of Empire soldiers attacked. Alex fought side by side with the queen. He saw her strength and courage firsthand. She was a warrior, not just a ruler. In the midst of the battle, Alex noticed something strange. The Empire soldiers seemed afraid of him. Whispers spread that the marked human was with the queen. Some soldiers hesitated, lowering their weapons. The tide of the fight turned. The alliance between humans and Viridians, long hidden, was becoming real again. When the battle ended, both sides were exhausted but alive. Alex and the queen stood together, watching the horizon. Your arrival has changed everything, the queen said quietly. But there are more dangers ahead. Alex nodded. Then we faced them together. He felt a new purpose rising inside him. The mysterious mark, the queen's respect, the hidden history, all were pieces of a larger puzzle. Now, the future of two civilizations rested on his shoulders. As night fell over Viridian, Alex knew their journey had only just begun. The early morning light filtered through the cracks in the palace walls. Commander Alex Mercer stood on a high balcony overlooking the strange alien city of Viridian. The purple trees swayed gently in the breeze. Despite the calm outside, Alex's mind was far from peaceful. The attack by the Galactic Empire's forces had been only the first. Their enemies were ruthless, powerful, and relentless. The ancient alliance between humans and Viridians might be a spark, but it could easily be snuffed out. Alex's hand brushed the glowing mark beneath his skin. It pulsed softly, reminding him that this was no ordinary mission. His blood carried a legacy he barely understood but that others would kill to control. Inside the throne room, the alien queen called Celera gathered her council. Their faces were grim, reflecting the hard choices ahead. "We cannot allow the Empire to regroup," Celera said firmly. "They seek to destroy everything we have rebuilt. If they find out about the alliance with humans, the war will become even worse." Alex nodded. "Then we have to act first. Can't wait for them to strike again." Sarah Kim, ever practical, added, "Our ship is barely repaired. You don't have weapons to fight a full-scale war here." Celera's eyes met Alex's. "The power lies not in weapons alone, but in unity. You must unite our people and yours. There is a reason you carry the mark." Alex swallowed hard. "What does it mean? Why me?" Celera stepped forward and touched his hand gently. "You are the last living link to the ancient pact. Long ago your ancestors swore to protect our people. The mark is a symbol of that promise. When you appeared here, it awakened hope." Alex looked at the glowing symbol. It felt like a key, unlocking something deep inside him, but there was still much to learn and many dangers. The next days were filled with planning and preparation. Alex and Celera worked closely, learning about each other's worlds and cultures. The Queen showed Alex holographic records of the Empire's cruelty, how they enslaved planets, erased histories, and crushed rebellion with iron fists. Alex shared stories of humanity's struggles, their fight for freedom, and hope for a better future. Slowly, a bond formed between the human and alien leaders. Neither was perfect, but both understood the weight of responsibility. Meanwhile, outside the palace, the crew and Viridian soldiers trained together. Humans adapted to alien weapons, and Viridians learned Earth combat tactics, though different in many ways. They found common ground in their desire to survive and protect their homes. One evening, as Alex studied star maps with Sarah, a warning came through their patched communication system. The Empire had deployed a fleet near Viridian, much larger than they expected. "They're coming," Sarah said grimly. "Soon." With little time left, Alex and Celera made a bold decision. They would send a message to Earth not just for help, but to warn other human colonies. The ancient alliance could not remain a secret any longer. Alex prepared the message carefully, knowing it could change everything. "If humans hear about this," he said, "they'll come. But we need to be ready to fight alongside them." Celera nodded. "Then we must show them that the Viridians are allies, not enemies." As the message transmitted into deep space, the palace suddenly shook. The sound of distant explosions grew louder. The Empire's fleet had begun its attack. Chaos erupted once more. The battle was fierce and fast. Its alien warships and human fighters clashed in the sky above Viridian. The ground shook as Imperial troops landed, pushing toward the city. Alex and Celera fought side by side again, leading their forces with determination. The humans' guns and tactics blended with the aliens' energy shields and plasma weapons. They held their ground, but knew they couldn't last long against the Empire's numbers. During a pause in the fighting, Alex caught sight of a squad of Empire soldiers moving toward the palace's heart, the throne room, where Celera's people kept their ancient artifacts and knowledge. "We have to stop them," Alex said urgently. Sarah and a small team volunteered to defend the palace. While Alex and Celera went after the invaders, deep inside the palace corridors, Alex moved quickly, his pulse racing. He felt the mark on his hand warm, as if guiding him. Suddenly, an Empire soldier stepped from the shadows, weapon raised. Alex fired first, hitting the soldier's armor. More soldiers appeared, blocking the way. Outnumbered but not afraid, Alex fought fiercely, relying on his training and quick thinking. The soldiers hesitated when they saw the glowing mark on his arm. Whispers spread among them, the marked one. The soldiers lowered their weapons briefly, uncertain. At that moment, Celera appeared behind Alex, her presence commanding. "You will not harm our people." The soldiers glanced at each other, confusion and fear in their eyes. Seeing this, Alex raised his voice. "This fight is not just ours. It is a fight for freedom for all of us." Some Empire soldiers hesitated, then dropped their weapons entirely. Others ran. When the fighting ended, silence filled the palace halls. Alex and Celira stood together, victorious but exhausted. "Your mark is more than a symbol," Celira said softly. "It carries power, the power to inspire." Alex looked at her, realizing what it truly meant. The Alliance wasn't just a memory. It was a living force, waiting to rise again. But the Empire was not defeated. They would return, stronger and more determined. "We need to prepare," Alex said, voice steady. "We must find more allies both among humans and other alien races." Celira smiled faintly. "Then our work begins." That night, as the twin suns set behind the mountains, Alex stood on the palace balcony again. The stars above seemed brighter. Filled with promise, he touched the glowing mark and whispered, "This is only the start." The battle had shaken Viridian, but it had also sparked something new. Hope Commander Alex Mercer stood at the edge of a wide plaza beneath the purple sky. Around him, Viridian warriors and human soldiers trained together, their movements growing sharper with each day. The humans learned how to use alien weapons, while the Viridians practiced Earth-style tactics. Though different, they were becoming one force. Alex watched quietly as Lieutenant Sarah Kim led a squad through a series of drills. She barked orders, her voice steady and strong. The crew had started calling this strange world home, but Alex knew the real fight was still ahead. Inside the palace, the alien queen Celira moved among her people, quietly rallying support. She spoke with village leaders, warriors, and scholars, reminding them of the ancient pact with humanity. Many had forgotten the promise. Some even doubted if the humans could be trusted. But the queen's presence and the glowing mark on Alex's arm were powerful symbols.
Ow.
They stirred pride and courage among the Viridians. One evening, as the twin moons rose high, Alex and Celira met in the palace garden. The air was cool, filled with the scent of strange flowers. "We must reach other worlds," Celira said softly. "The Empire's power grows. We cannot fight alone." Alex nodded. "I agree. But it won't be easy. Many human colonies are far, and some don't know we exist." Celira looked at him with sharp eyes. "Then we make them know. We send messages, send ambassadors. We build an alliance." Alex smiled. New alliance, stronger than the old. The next days were busy. Alex helped organize a small fleet of ships, including their damaged human vessel repaired with Viridian technology. Messages were sent to distant human colonies, explaining the truth about Viridian and the Empire's threat. At the same time, Celira sent envoys to nearby alien worlds, hoping to unite other species against the Empire. The work was difficult. Some worlds ignored the messages, others were too afraid to fight. But a few responded, a small but growing force ready to stand with the humans in viewership. As the alliance grew, so did the danger. The Empire's spies had infiltrated Viridian. One night, a group of saboteurs attacked the palace's power core. Hoping to weaken the defenses, Alex and Sarah were quick to respond. The alarms blared as the crew and Viridian guards rushed to stop the intruders. The battle inside the palace was tense. The saboteurs moved fast, planting explosives. But the combined forces of humans and Viridians fought back harder. Alex found himself face to face with one of the saboteurs, a tall figure in dark armor. The man's eyes were cold. "Your mark won't save you," the saboteur hissed. Alex didn't answer.
Alex.
He fought with everything he had, blocking the saboteur's attacks and landing blows. Finally, with a swift move, Alex disarmed him and took him prisoner. The saboteur refused to speak, but Alex knew this was only a warning. The Empire's power was reaching deeper than they imagined. After the attack, Celira addressed the people of Viridian in the Great Hall. Her voice echoed clearly. "We face enemies who seek to divide us, to destroy our hope," she said. "But we will stand together, humans, Viridians, and all who fight for freedom." The crowd cheered, their spirits lifted. Alex felt anew strength within himself, It was no longer just a soldier or a commander. It was a symbol, the living proof of the Ancient Alliance's power. Days later, the new fleet prepared to leave Viridian. Alex stood beside Celira, looking out at the ships ready to face the Empire's forces. "We will not wait for the Empire to strike again," Alex said. "We will take the fight to them." Celira nodded. "Together, we are stronger than ever." The ships lifted into the sky. Alex felt hope. The Alliance was rising. A new future was possible. The fleet soared through the stars, leaving Viridian's purple skies behind. Commander Alex Mercer sat in the cockpit of the lead ship, watching the stars streak past. Beside him, the alien queen Celira stood quietly, her glowing mark a steady light in the dim room. They were heading to the heart of the Empire, the place where the war had begun centuries ago, where the secret of the Ancient Alliance had been buried. Alex felt a mix of fear and determination. The Empire's power was great, but the Alliance was stronger. Humans, Viridians, and their new allies had come together. Now, they would fight for freedom, for their past and their future. As the fleet approached the Empire's capital planet, alarms sounded. The Empire was waiting. Ships emerged from the darkness, sleek, black, and deadly. The battle began. Explosions lit the void. Lasers fired in all directions. Alex commanded the fleet, coordinating attacks and defenses. Celira's voice came through the communicator. "Stay focused. Protect the fleet." The battle was brutal. Many ships were lost. But the Alliance's unity gave them strength. Humans' courage and the Viridians. Technology combined in a way the Empire had never expected. Alex's ship took heavy damage, but stayed in the fight. He saw Celira's ship engaged with the Empire's flagship, a massive war vessel. With a nod, pushed his damaged ship forward. He had one chance to break through and strike at the Empire's core. Inside the flagship, the Empire's leader watched the battle calmly. He knew the mark on Alex's arm was dangerous. "Destroy the marked one," he ordered. Alex fought through enemy ships, dodging fire and debris. The glowing mark on his arm seemed to guide him, pulsing with power. Finally, his ship reached the flagship's core chamber. The doors opened and Alex stepped out, weapon ready. The Empire's leader awaited, tall, armored, and cold-eyed. "You carry the mark," the leader said, "but you will fall like the rest." Alex raised his weapon. The Alliance never falls. They fought fiercely. The leader was strong, but Alex had something the Empire lacked. Hope with a final burst of strength. Alex defeated the leader. The Empire's ship began to collapse. Back in the fleet, Celira watched as the flagship exploded. Cheers rang through. The ships the Empire's control was broken. The Alliance had won. On the surface of the capital planet, Alex and Celira met with representatives from many worlds. They signed a new treaty, a promise of peace, cooperation, and protection. Alex looked at the glowing mark on his arm and smiled. It was more than a symbol, it was a promise kept. The alien queen knelt once again, not in fear, but in honor, and Alex knew why.